guys, what's up? Welcome to OnlyFounders. I'm Ann, and with us today we have an incredible guest. Matt and I would like to introduce you to Mojo. We're out here in Los Angeles. We're actually doing a little bit different of a recording today. We're in person, live, and we're coming at you from the Beverly Laurel Hotel, which is literally a motor hotel from the 1950s. Cute. It's like Marilyn Monroe was out at this pool at some point. We're loving it. So the vibe
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Gorgeous. Right. It's so cute. So I wish we could record from out there, but we're in here.
Yeah, we have like 79 degrees today too.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
We have some bright yellow. So I'm excited to be here with Mojo because he is actually doing a job that we probably need in our future. He is a fantastic executive producer of really high-performing podcasts and shows on YouTube. Is this all true?
I think award-winning podcast, actually.
Award-winning podcast, yeah. So we're super excited to talk to Mojo today about his founder story and the history of him getting to this place and all the work that he's doing in LA now and his successes, his struggles, especially talking about some recent challenges that he's using as huge opportunities to grow his company. There's some good stuff here. And hi to you, Matt, still in Texas. Matt, how are you doing over there?
It's cold here. LA would have been nice. But, the nature of my work is pretty crazy. So, but I'm happy we can make it work. And, I kind of miss not being there. I really want to be in LA, to be honest.
Yeah.
We're sad you're not here. You would love this hotel, no doubt. But with that, thanks, Matt. I hope you stay warm. I hope you have coffee. Do you have coffee?
No, I was just telling Mojo this morning I was awoken by server issues. So I'm awake. There's nothing that's going to get me more awake than that. So
the caffeine in a technical difficulty with your company.
Yeah, adrenaline. I'm still on the adrenaline.
Did you fix it?
Oh, I think so. We'll see. Hopefully when I get off the call, if the servers are still up, we're good.
That's good. That's good news. Awesome. Well, I want to start with asking you, Mojo, what is the founder story? How did you even start Rainbow Creative? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it was an idea to create a community of creators to make mission-driven video content, actually. So it came when I was actually on a trip in Yosemite in 2017, and I was with my friends, and there were like tons of rainbows everywhere. And I was just thinking about the idea. And the whole idea of a rainbow was basically to help creators and companies live in their dharma. So really matching like a creator from an editor or DP with a brand that made like sense for them. So the idea was because like people would contact me all the time. Can you make this video? Can you make this commercial? Can you make this? Like I can make anything. But I was like, well, what if I brought all this together? Because I'm really great at networking. And I know a ton of creatives from film school and just like in my life. What if we had that all together? So
pause. Where did you go to film school?
Biola University.
Ooh, okay, cool.
UNC first, and then I went to Biola.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love that.
So really amazing, wonderful people. And then so start off as a video company, but like with videos, they're like, you get one and then you try for another and things like that. And it transitioned to podcasting actually in 2020. Where I finished my coworking career. But the coworking career was actually super influential and very helpful to build a business. So, corporate life, I worked at Apple, I worked at Disney.
Did you produce content for them there too?
Yeah. So, Apple, no, I was an expert at the retail store. I graduated in the pandemic and I needed a job and became an amazing expert.
I graduated in the recession of 06 to 09.
Did I say pandemic? I meant to say recession.
No, recession. Yeah. So, yes.
I was 08, yeah.
You were 08.
Yeah, 08, 09. So.
Yeah. Cheers to shitty jobs.
Right. We did what we had to do.
Been there.
Right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a shitty job, actually. Apple was an incredible
job.
career. And still my friends there are friends who are family, people who I've like worked with.
I've heard that from people who've worked in an Apple store.
I was there like almost 3 years.
Yeah, it's an insane community.
Yeah, it was an insane community. So what's great about that, it taught me about like really about sales. So I think that's why my sales are so strong. Mm-hmm. And then it's like compassionate. It's like you never say no, it's let's find out. So I come from a big hospitality background from actually working at Disneyland in college and then Apple. I mean, the steps of service I have in my DNA is just at the top. So I did that. And then I was fortunate. My Disneyland experience and Apple actually melded together to get a job as a marketing specialist for Partners Federal Credit Union at Disney.
Oh.
And it was a custom idea that the CEO had to create like this tech guy. And I was the tech guy. I used to work at Disneyland, I worked at Apple. But then it transitioned into a full-scale digital marketing job.
The community manager, it's not to it's not to understate it. It's actually like owning the whole building. Because I used to have, or the floor. I used to have two co-working spots where I had like my own office, and I would just chat with the community manager all the time. They were like super knowledgeable, and I was like, oh wow, this is good. And they do sales, they do support, they make sure everything's running. You basically are the CEO of that floor for the whole time.
That's actually interesting. Yeah, WeWork definitely taught me to be the CEO of my building and my market, because it really gave that a lot of empowerment. It was interesting. Like now today, I mean, just fast forwarding, my first clients were WeWork members, my team members and support system who's supporting me even to this day. Like
that's a phenomenal concept. Get a huge co-working system as your client, and then you're going to meet all of your future clients in that co-working space.
Well, they were my client. I worked for them.
Right. But in our world, like if we were getting someone as a client to get a co-working space as a client or work for them as a contractor, right? Think of all of that opportunity of people that it brings together. That's a really cool concept. Yeah.
Well, it was that sense of community that really sprung the idea for Rainbow Creative, because they were a community of creators. And I was like, well, let me make my own community of creators.
Yeah.
It's literally what I did. It was just a part of it. And having the corporate experience and startup, all about tenacity, never saying no, figuring it out, doing things extremely fast since we had high growth. I mean, that it was just everything that I needed. It was my playbook and really MBA and making a company.
I love that. Yeah. So how long
you mentioned? Go ahead. Just one thing. You mentioned high growth, right? High growth is very easy to say, but how do you get in a situation of high growth? That's not easy.
No, I mean, it's not easy. I mean, but like with learning from WeWork, it was really about, setting, like not attainable goals that are unattainable, and figuring out ways to get there. And even if you don't land at 100, you landing at 80 is still an 100.
Yep.
And then I actually started like getting executive coaching at that time too. And their whole concept is, I say, they're like, what's a 10 in your life? I'll say that. They're like, well, imagine if that's a 1, how can you make that into a 10? So I've done that in work. I've done that in personal coaching. I've been coached for probably like 10 years. Cool. So I just have that mindset of, what's a 10? Now maybe make it a 1 and make it another 10. And when I hit that 10, I try to do to another 10.
That's a really good tip, actually.
That's a great tip. What happened last year that has changed the complete direction and the way that you're operating your business now?
Yeah, well, I mean, I ran Rainbow Creative for actually over 5 years. So we're our 6th year will be in August.
Congrats, that's huge.
Thank you. Most building companies fail after 5.
You make it past 5, you're doing great.
Right, exactly. And in the beginning, it was part-time, where I had another creative job or things like that. And like in the beginning, like my 3rd year of podcasting, actually, I was fortunate to work with the Red Table Talk podcast, Navigating Narcissism.
I love that topic.
Yeah.
We'll get into that another day.
Right. So it's Red Table Talk podcast on iHeartMedia, Westbrook, and Jada's company. I was the lead producer of that over 2 seasons.
Awesome.
And then that contract ended, and I was fortunate to work at the School of Greatness in Lewis House, where I was a lead producer there, overseeing YouTube. And then I'd always had a dream to like work full time, but at the time I thought it was like School of Greatness is it. But when you're around all that greatness and being inspired and meeting Eckhart Tolle and Rich Paul and Rick Rubin, meeting all these people like Rhonda Byrne, I mean, all these crazy inspiring people, and getting to produce them and literally being in their atmosphere, not just their atmosphere, like literally,
you're in their bubble.
I played ping pong with Bill Nye, and he did beat me. And so being around like Ice Cube, Tabitha Brown, like being around that greatness.
I love Tabitha Brown.
She's the best.
Tabitha, I don't think she's ever going to watch, but Tabitha Brown, I love you. Okay, go on.
So being around that greatness, I mean, it was inevitable that just reignited that spirit within me, because that was now the 2nd year I was like, at a full-time job with something. And then I actually was really forced into doing it full-time because people were seeing what I was doing. And then they're asking me to do shows, and then they want to do it in person. I'm like, well, I have a 9-to-5 job, and then in person. And I literally I had literally enough clients to pay me double for 3 months. And then that was it. It was like, do I take the leap or not? And so I went back to them and I said, hey, this opportunity that I have, I know you guys like me here. What if I contracted with you to still keep on and did my own thing? And they said yes. So I was able to turn School of Greatness really into a client, and then doing my own thing. And then that was allowed me to take the leap. And they were supportive and great with that. And I was able to trade their new, engineers and everything. And then so in the first year, we really like did it. And then that year is when I started finding out just about structure and things. I worked with, she's now our business consultant, Lee Pierce, to really put it together. But in it, it's like where I started to learn about like profit and things, but still doing it on my own. We didn't have the resources to get a CFO or a COO. But we were doing it and making it. And we had like, I think in 2024, we had about like 15 shows. And so it really started to get momentum. Well, as things started to grow, I reached out to someone to really help like bring like the company to the next level.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of 2024, we had a huge opportunity to work with Original Productions, which is a Fremantle company. So they hired really 5 people from Rainbow to run it. So I was a showrunner over 2 of their YouTube series, and had my team as producers, editors, a DP. So that was a really great experience of like, okay, now I have my own network show. You know, we did 2 shows with them. And then that was supposed to continue, but they ended up like being on hiatus for a while. So then it was like, okay, let's go back to the Rainbow grind. And so I reached out to someone and to be like a fractionalist with all the things and all the laws and everything like that. But at the end of the day, some people can look at my last year, if you know the inner workings of it, it's like, oh, this is your biggest failure, but it's actually my biggest success year. Because I was able to work with some of the top talent in the world. Like my Rolodex on my phone is really crazy now. And now this is my life, you know, so celebrities are my friends. And I get to work on those things. And it's what's been interesting working around that. When you're working at that high level of people, it elevates you.
Exactly.
And so like,
you got to change your room if you want to
Exactly.
change how you engage and how you work.
Right. Exactly. So at the end of the day, like now, you know, sure we had, but like at the end of the day, it's like I look at the shows that I launched, it was still successful. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like I produced some of the #1 shows in the world.
What's your unfair advantage that you developed since you started building out your Rolodex?
My unfair advantage?
You've developed. It's probably not something before all the retail stuff, but it was probably developed. It was probably introduced to you subconsciously, right when you were meeting and working with all the great people you've met. So what unfair advantage built from that?
I mean, I've never outreached for a lead. They've always come to me. I think my unfair advantage is how connected I am, how referrals. Really, my unfair advantage to all of this is really referrals. And I think that comes from when people see value like in you, they refer. Like literally we have a lead right now where it's one of the biggest podcasts in the world referred me. I didn't even know she knew who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's one of those things like with the like that Bible verse where God says, and like you hear it in church of like your name's going to be in room bigger than you. That happens for me. So honestly, my unfair advantage, I would say, is God.
Hold on, I would disagree on that could be true. But the other piece, so in between, not super high, not immediate, because I believe if you had to restart, you could probably get to where you are again today.
Right.
So I don't believe it's the networks that give you the unfair advantage.
I guess maybe the unfair advantage, and I don't know how unfair it is, but so many people in my support system would just say yes. You know, it's like, you know, a CFO who's like crazy experience working at a sustainable rate for us and diving in, like coaches, people. It's like if I reach out for help, people help me because they see the vision.
Mm-hmm.
And like after last year, it's delusional that I'm still moving forward. But I'm just now at a place where I just learn what I didn't know, ask for help, and those people are saying yes because they capture the vision.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always asking for feedback and keeping things accountable when I learn something. But I think maybe my unfair advantage, to be honest, is because of since working at WeWork and Disney, all those people, I have such a huge Rolodex that most people don't have. That is an unfair advantage, to be honest, because most people don't have the network I have. I can still call somebody who I worked with at Apple 10 years ago. I can call somebody I worked with at WeWork 10 years ago. I have, and those people are helping me. And so I think but then that's also a learning lesson to stay connected with people. Because when it's ready, they'll call. Like my mentor in San Francisco, like Asia, like she called me the other day looking for a show. And like it was her who really gave me my first shows and my first foundation. I've always kept that relationship strong. So I would say anybody, for any type of journey that you're in, being a founder, business owner, like no matter what job you're at, even if you hate it, keep those connections strong. Because I remember the job that I actually hated for 3 months, my best friend and my first employee from Rainbow Creative came from that job.
Mm-hmm.
And then another person who I know from that job ended up giving me, like, she rebuilt my website, she built our whole structure, and that was a 3-month job. And so I think keeping those connections and then learning about, okay, well, I worked at that agency, although I didn't like it, what are the learning tools of the people who I met? Because at the end of the day, it's about relationships.
Exactly.
And if you don't keep the relationship strong, you will fail.
And
so pretend you sold, so say you replaced every one of your duties and then sold your company, right? Got acquired. I guarantee that new subsidiary is not going to perform as good as if you were running it.
No, it has to keep us. Like, they would just run business operations and we would still have Rainbow Creative and everything that we have with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I would sell it and give up the name. I would, like, get acquired of, like, a Time Warner getting, like, a New Line Cinema type of thing and still running the company. That's what I meant.
But you still want to be involved in the company.
I would be involved in the
have to
company
be.
for sure. I still want to be the
You would have
CEO,
to be.
definitely.
Yeah.
I have to be. But it allows me the freedom to focus on the sales, focus on the creative, make bigger decisions, and let people who know what they're doing run all the other shit.
It's very true.
So,
Yeah. But you still need to be there. I think that magic is the brand. I think when you have a purpose and a mission so deeply rooted in people and healing and relationships, that my mission is very similar to yours as well. And so I think when you're trying to do your craft, you figure out God's purpose for your life and you're like, all right, I'm doing it. And then when you do it, every door is open and every light is green. And you're like, wow, this feels crazy. You can't really, it's not like we're making these businesses to get out of them and be acquired and sell and wipe our hands clean. It's like, this is the work that is giving us meaning. And when you find that work that's giving you meaning, you can create really massive, powerful things and get acquired, but you still have to be doing the work, right? It wasn't the work to then get out of it. It's, no, this is the work that's fulfilling to you. So you actually want to show up at work, but also it's very meaningful with your mission.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think this is just my opinion, but Mojo's brand, it might be even simpler in this. It might be just, you just talk to people and people just want to work with you, actually. It feels more like, it feels much more simpler. Here, I'll give you like I felt this experience before. So this sounds really weird, but I used to, a long time ago, different venture, I had these really big deals. They were worth like $100,000. And I always brought someone in the meeting who knew nothing about anything, but they had a really good gut instinct on things, like a really, really good. And just depending on the tone and the body language and what people are saying, what it feels people are not saying, he could understand, he could read the room better than anyone. So I kind of like see it as very similar with here is like, I am reading the room where you're in, Mojo, and it's like, I don't see a reason why we couldn't do business in the future. I don't see how not. We're in two different industries.
Yeah.
But I don't see why not, because the possibilities are endless with you. So if they're endless with you, they're endless with me. And this reminds me of how I used to bring someone else to my meetings because I could never read like that, but he could read even better than me. And I was like, that was the same thing. He could read okay, that guy's bullshitting. That guy's has no idea what he's doing, etc. And it's like, I get the reverse from you. I get like, oh, this is a full spectrum of opportunities. So if you kind of think about it, full spectrum, you got every color, then there's a rainbow. You kind of I feel like it's very simple. I just feel like the situation is very simple.
You explain, I mean, thank you.
Meet Matt, okay?
Yeah. That explains a lot. Wow. Thank you. I've never had it told to me like that before. That
was beautiful.
Oh, you already knew it. No, you already knew it. You don't even need it.
That was really profound.
Yeah.
No, it was really profound, Matt. It really was. It was beautiful. The way that you explained that, I would 100% agree. And I literally just met Mojo this morning. And I'm also a gut reaction person.
I got a quick question. When you guys do production, you guys are doing the promotion too? Is it you guys?
So we sometimes we do full scale and oftentimes we just like support it. So so basically we make up the marketing assets and we'll work with PR firms to PR for it, but we can build all of it.
So you kind of just like you mold based on whatever the demand need, like whatever the client needs, you kind of mold.
I mean, we're full scale from development, production, distribution, graphic design, marketing, and sales. I mean, just in the past 2 years, we did $200,000 in sponsorship sales. And so that's what's really taking the difference, because what's different with us is we help grow shows and then sell them. And we've had shows funded before they even started production. So it's like, so now it's sustainable.
How does something like that happen, right? How do you fund something that is just the idea was sold and it was good? That was good enough.
I mean, my team, like who like help like do like the sales for it, we just built relationships, and it's really the talent is like what it is. But what happened is when we grew a lot with Jonah and Gabby Reese and everything, the brands actually came to us asking for the rest of our slate. So we've been at an advantage where we have about like 3 agency partners and individual brand relationships from some of the biggest brands in the world that now we can just pitch to with a slate, because we've gotten that much. It's sometimes a little too easy, but that's what they look for. They look for companies who can grow. They look for companies who can do it. It's like we've gotten some big companies to sign our brand agreements, which is nuts, and then also we structure it in a way where clients can use it either for their own profit or use it to cover their production costs. And that's a game changer. It's
That's
like
huge.
We had a huge show that literally paid, I think their budget was like $50,000. They paid like $1,500, and then we paid them a commission at the end of it because we rose $100,000 for this client off a $50,000 budget, and then there's payroll and profit and things like that. So now that we've figured out that system, that's actually how we're funding our Rainbow Creative shows, originals. Like the talent will put in an initial deposit for us to make content, and then we go to the brands and we'll do a mix of big brand relationship or actually individual businesses where they can, smaller businesses where they can do one episode. So if you think about it, there's probably an amazing coffee shop, an amazing furniture shop who has a $2,000 marketing budget they're probably spending on a newsletter. Well, what if you put it in a podcast where this person has 100,000 followers? Now that store will sell out. And so now that's even further community impact. And then we also will do something where we're working with a company called Supporting Cast for people to donate. Well, if somebody just wants to donate to the cause, $5 a month, 500 people is $2,500 a month. That pays for the show. That pays for the impact. So we have all these revenue opportunities.
Smart businessman right here.
That could get it. So now we can get a Rainbow Creative show. And like if they do the work, we go to brand sponsorships, we do some fundraising and things like that. And we make our budgets actually very sustainable, where it's not a huge goal. It's like, sure, we have some 100,000, 150,000 clients, but the value of those is really worth 300,000. And then when we can start it that way, we get the brands to deliver. And now since brands know what we do and they know how we deliver, they're more prone to work with us. And honestly, like when I say God thing, they came to us. Like we were working with one brand and they said, what's the rest of your slate? And so now I have this amazing sales team led by my sales director, Shane and Will, who are crushing it. And like literally Will the other day, we were like, what is Will doing? He like moves like lasagna. All of a sudden I got like Headspace, Poppy, Liquid IV, like interest. It's like, what were you doing? Like he was outreaching. I just didn't need to be on the emails.
Can you just like CC me on these things so I can just see what is happening?
Right. Well, I'm so used to micromanaging, but just CC the sales director. That's why you have somebody managing you now.
Yeah.
And then just get a high level, and then I can go on the dashboard and see where things are.
That's amazing. I bet that feels so good.
But yeah, so it's like the brands are, and so like now if I sit back and actually think about it, if I take a breath, I'm creating something that could, and I'm going to say it, be at a Disney level. To be honest, like the fact that I'm building something that was an idea with minimal business experience, just business acumen, beyond bootstrapping, just paying my salary for things sometimes, making it work, doing what I have to do. Like Walt Disney went bankrupt and almost lost his company and created the Walt Disney Company.
Every successful mega founder that we know, I'd say 90% of them, I feel like, now don't quote, like that's bullshit. This is Ann's statistics. However, go bankrupt. All of them were in financial woes. All of them took...
Hold on. You can't just go bankrupt. The pattern is adversity. Right? You get past it.
The point wasn't trying to make of that, was not go bankrupt, but do what you have to do.
That's what it is.
Yeah, start from zero to win. That's my show.
0 to win. Yeah. Yep. So I think that when you view struggles, that's again, going back to rebounding, when you view struggles, even financial struggles, right? You're bankrupt, you refinance 1,000 times, you have to take out all of these loans, you're in massive amount of debts to see your vision come to life. That is that rebound. That is that grit that says, no, I'm going to do this. I know what it's going to take. And we've seen some of the most amazing creators in the world with the founding these amazing brands who are now employing millions of people, all have a similar path of that rebound is quick. They don't view a failure as a failure.
Right.
Matt, you talk about that a lot. You love challenges. You love failing because then it's not boring. If you're just constantly winning and succeeding, there's really not a lot of growth.
True.
failing and success are just metrics on a line, right? So it's more or less you're just doing things, right? If you don't have them, you're not moving. That's not how I see it. So you should be having failures, because if you're moving somewhere, you're not, no one's perfect.
Right. Yeah.
Mojo, I have one last question is, what is a Disney level production? Because there is current Disney, there's past Disney, there is the future, and then there is your interpretation of what that future is. So tell me because I want to know if what your future success looks like. I want to kind of understand it.
Sure. At the end of the day, at the beginning, it all comes down to story. You know, Disney as a storytelling company. The rainbow magic is that storytelling different aspect, and then you pair that with top level production to give the story the vision and value it needs. And then you package that into something that's marketable. And so that's the biggest machine of Disney, is it being marketable. I learned this at the School of Greatness. Marketing mindset first. Is like the way I learned how to produce YouTube and really crack that code was knowing how the first 3 questions are important, and the title and the thumbnails, the packaging. So Rainbow, that Disney difference is the packaging. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not thinking about how it's going to be marketed from what I'm already outlined, it's not going to go anywhere. So it's like we basically look at step 10 first, and that informs step 1.
Oh, okay.
That's actually similar to how Fix and Form brands businesses. When we're working on our work, we look at that 5-star review, or whatever the scale is that we're looking for that metric of that review, that experience that they're wanting to give with their brand. And then we back into it. So it's kind of starting at the end first, and you're looking at whatever the impact is. And we're going back to talking about that our work is for the impact, which we talk about a lot on the show. But if we're looking at the impact, it's what did you give? What did you deliver to the end user? And through storytelling, it's what is that step 10, that story delivery to that audience member? It's very similar. And so when you start at the end and then you work backwards, say, how do we get that? What needs to happen in the entire journey for that to be achieved? And you can actually identify those things. I feel that makes you very succccessful.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm still trying to figure out the future. So the last thing, what is your favorite Disney movie? This will give me enough.
Ooh.
I used to work at Disneyland and the corporate. How do you even ask that?
That's a loaded question.
No, it's one, because that will help me understand the direction you're going.
Easy.
Lion King?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I love Lion King.
Lion King and Toy Story, but definitely Lion King. When you think about it, remember who you are.
So that means your future, your future production, wherever it is, 10, 20, 30 years from now, is at the scale of Lion King. Okay, this is all I need to know.
Yeah,
you go to Times Square. It still has Lion King stuff all over it.
Right.
And I don't know how old Lion King is.
Year. We were on it.
You were?
Yeah.
Wow.
Big as King Kong. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Huge things coming. Okay. Thank you for your time today. Where can everybody find you to follow along with this amazing success story?
Thank you. Yeah. So you can follow me, Mojo Rainbow, Instagram. You'll see a lot of things about my business and a lot of dancing, music, and just my vibes.
Hell yeah. Dancing.
So
Hell yeah.
Mojo vibes. And then you can follow Rainbow Creative and Rainbow Creative _. And then you can follow our new shows. So we just launched Common Ground with Yuval David. We have a new show with Heather and Terry Dubrow. We helped launch called Dr. Does a Guinea Pig. We have the Jeanette Jenkins Show. The India Crisis with CJ Perry, a new show with Andy Allo and Johan Martinez-Kalilian, Giovanni Samuels. The list goes on.
And so all of these shows you're working on are all in your Rainbow Creative account?
Yeah, under the company. And then my most exciting project is my show called 0 to 1, WON, where I actually get on the mic and interview my clients and support system, current and past clients and support system, about how they got to win. So it's helping, you're going to actually hear behind the mic of how they made their show successful, what we did. And there'll be even interviews with my executive coach about my mindset. And then the first show we made together from The Future with Love. So it's going to be, so that's the full circle rainbow of things where I'm now embracing my voice and power and then get to share the stories of my clients. And I'm really grateful for all the 20 people who said yes to be a part of it. So
yay.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Well, keep crushing it, Mojo. I'm glad you jumped on our podcast. I'm glad I got to know you a little more. I'll be in LA hopefully later in the year for a tournament. So I'll definitely have to kind of sync up with you. But it was great having you on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you're interested in starting a podcast and either in full production, post production, just sales, or just graphic design, we're going to be launching a marketing and social media aspect soon as well.
Cool.
Full service at a la carte. Reach out to rainbowcreative.co. Or you can reach out to my sales manager at sales@rainbowcreative.co. I'm going to plug myself and let's talk.
Love that. Thank you, Mojo, so much. This was wonderful. Yeah. Thanks, Matt. Always fun to see you with your 2 plants there.
Thanks, guys.